Jacques Peretti 2006. Jackson has been acquitted of charges of child sex abuse a year earlier. The allegations of abuse have become a distant memory. Indisputably the greatest post star that ever lived. Everyone wanted a piece of Michael Jackson. Donny Osmond. The first time he met Michael Jackson they were two teenagers having a great time. The only person who can understand what his childhood was like. Robbed of his traditional childhoods. J. Randy Taraborelli, journalist and biographer, how he never stopped talking about his lost childhood. Jackson 5. He went to see them for the first performance as Motown recording artists. He believes that with the exception of Joseph, Michael Jackson had a good time. Michael father. Joe was this old school authoritarian, but he knew what it will take to make it. Tommy Chong, Bobby Taylor and the Vancouvers. He stood out from all the family. Don King was a close family friend and promoter to Jackson. He ostracized himself from the family to push himself to the top. Don and Donnie said he never had a good relationship with his father. There was an audio tape of Michael Jackson being beaten by his father. J. Randy said he stopped it by saying, "If you hit me again I won't sing." The father stopped beating because he was the cash king. Michael got his self-confidence from Joe and his sense of authority. Michael could be very cutthroat as he was becoming a star. He worried less about his brothers even in the interview he was having. Donny Osborne, the moonwalk when he threw the hat would almost change the world. At the point he became a marketing genius. Thriller song, he became a superstar but had no happiness. He became more withdrawn. J. Randy, plastic surgery. Every time he looked in the mirror he saw his dad's reflection. So he had to change it. Greg Tate, he need to make himself somebody that white people would not hate. Matthew Knowles, he who has the largest audience will sell the most. So he want to sell to all demographic of people. Brian Osmond, former attorney for the Jackson, he knew how to excite an audience. 1984. Brooke Shields, and he does not even glance at her. On the Army Manual. Lewis 12-year-old. J. Randy speak about Michael in the background. Playing with 12-year-old when at the time his was 24 years old. It struck him as weird but never crossed his mind anything sexual was going on. 1998, he bought Sycamore Valley, a ranch set in 2,500 acres of idyllic and remote California countryside. He renamed it Neverland. Margot Jefferson, author on Michael Jackson, talks about it being a childhood vision. He chose to break his silence with Oprah Winfrey on television about his Neverland, to fight back about what the media was saying about him. Kevin Smith, co-founder of Splasher Michael News, will big across the world in a newspaper article. He need his life to be sensational, he admit to J. Randy. Kevin Smith is leaking information to grow attention to the ground to keep an eye on him. Oprah said he was amazed he cared so much about kids he built into children bedrooms. Ron Zone, and former deputy district attorney. Santa Barbara County security is very important for someone who is having sexual relationship with a child. His sickness on tour coincided with a breaking story at home. Los Angeles frenzy investigation into child abuse by Michael Jackson. A 13-year-old boy claimed this. J. Randy said Geordie was this kid who met him and his mother June. He felt this was like his family. 1993 Music Awards in Monaco. He had Geordie on his lap at a Boys to Men concert. Bob Jones worked with Michael for 17 years. His job entails dealing with the fan magazine and police. Advice Michael Jackson on his public image. He said stop but refused to do it about putting that child on his lap like that to the world. Geordie and Michael was in the bed together with the flu all day and Bob said he had no idea what going on in that room. Boy said that Michael had became sexual acts, ca oral sex. That was happening between the two. Keith said that the social worker report detailed graphic sexual acts between the two. Ron Zonen said Geordie was able to give a drawing description of Michael Jackson's penis. The Santa Barbara County Sheriff Department looked at it to see if it was true. California judge set a trial date for the civil suit of Michael. Paul said whether Michael was guilty or innocent at that point was inconsequential. His interest was for the money. All the people close to him was claiming they witnessed molestation, according to Paul Barresi. Had the opportunity to make more money in 5 minutes than they have ever will. LaToya has been painted over the years as the mad one. Stacey Brown, tabloid journalist. Michael Jackson multi-billionaire business has a legal team that take care of everything. Kevin Smith said that. Bob Jones and J. Randy felt Michael need to remove himself from the family. J. Randy said Bob need to make sure the kids were there or he will lose his job. However, 4 other boys defend Michael, saying he would never do that. He had pop stars defending Michael as well. Anthony Bellicano, known as a Sinister. His job was to make sure stories did not get out. Evan Chandler, the father at point, asked for $20 million to get it solved. They said no, and it became a bargain hunt to get the most money. Therefore, thinking, did Michael actually do anything? J. Randy said don't settle, but Michael came back at him saying this is my career, this is my choice. 1994 Michael Jackson next step will be with the king of rock and roll daughter Lisa Presley. Elvis Presley daughter Diane Sawyer asked him about the child molestation, which was still on people's mind even though he was married. He replied, "I'm not interested in that." Instead of saying his innocence 20 times, he says they found nothing. He will still have kids sleep over, and Lisa has now filed for divorce and now moved on to Debbie Rowe, who was expecting his second child, the nurse who treated his skin condition for over 10 years. However, in the interview with California District Attorney Office, he said he does not bleach his skin and he not gay when they were still asking him. Question on child molestation. Martin Bashir spent the last 8 months with Michael making a documentary in the Neverland house. Full access of his house and spending time with kids. 12-year-old Gavin, who had been told he had terminal cancer. Michael said the most loving thing is to share your bed with someone, including kids. J. Randall said in the interview it backfired on him because he will retract his statement by saying sleep on the floor. At the age of 44 with a child that is not related to him. Warrant on the criminal misconduct of Michael Jackson investigation was won again about child molestation. The boy told a psychotherapist that on two occasions Jackson gave him sleeping pills. Shortly after, he released a statement saying lies runs sprints, but the truth runs marathons. Ron Zonan said we did not generate the case, the facts was Michael victimized a new child. Kevin Smith say people fan were screaming Michael when they were not supposed when he's coming out of the big black cars. Thomas Mesmerizer, the lawyer of Michael, takes pride in doing unwinnable cases. He was the go-to guy and previously helped Tyson win his cases when was investigated for rape. Thomas wanted this to be a case not about race and assumed most jury will be white, which it was. Ron Zonan did not. Experience going against a high-powered celebrity. First witness British journalist Martin Bashir, who made the documentary Living with Michael Jackson. Gavin was the victim 13 when he disclosed, and 15-year-old at the trial, according to Ron Zonan. Michael Jackson was walking in the front door for the cases, but the 14-year-old witnesses was walking through the side entrance, or if so. Thomas, being biased, said, "Hey, were terrible witnesses on the stand." Gavin was not able to give out details of what happened, but Ron Zonan thinks he did a wonderful job given his age. Ron believes he was given alcohol and drugs too. However, the difference between this case and the last, Gavin never asked for money. Thomas witness that was paid of against Michael was paid a vast hush money. Wade Robson was Britney Spears' choreographer, who was deafening Michael on the Geordies scandal, was the first witness on the stand. Michael was found not guilty by the jury. In court he had the best lawyers to defend him. He had the most glamorous, a compelling witness to support him, and he had an army of fans defending his case. However, his reputation dropped and health issues became worse. Thanks for listening. Please like, share, comment and subscribe.